Hello!
I'm good.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Oh, fantastic. Let's tuck in. I, I love the question that says, what's your thing? Like, what is your passion? What is your purpose? What is your love? What is your thing?
Well, my thing is anything that is related to underwater, basically. Just like obsessed with it.
Yeah. Anything
Underwater.
that's in the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just to be in the water and like to be able to show people underwater and like, lure people in. That's my thing, basically, at this
Yeah.
point.
And how did you get into the water? How did it all start? Did you grow up in the water? Have you always just been exposed to it?
Yeah, well, being born in the Maldives, so we are surrounded by water, right? So, like, majority of the Maldives is water. And since we were children, our parents would take us to the picnics and all these things in the weekends. But somehow I was still really not very confident in the water.
Okay.
But I didn't start diving until 2012, which is I was around 19 years old at that. And it's only when I started my work in a resort first time. And then
Yeah.
I started slowly getting into snorkeling and be confident in the water. So I didn't do my first discover scuba until 2012.
In
But
2012.
yeah, so then I'm just hooked on it.
Oh my word. So it's been 8 years.
Yeah,
So you started snorkeling, you got hooked, and then you decided you wanted to do this for a living.
yeah, exactly. I mean, the fact is like to be able to do something that I love
Yeah.
as a job, because
Yeah.
it's so rare to find something to be, doing and still getting paid well and all these things. It's expensive.
Yeah.
So so I thought, like, if I can improve myself and get into this properly, that this would be it's basically just the dream I'm living, to be honest.
That's amazing.
I wouldn't trade my life for anything at this point.
Oh, oh my word. You wouldn't trade your life for
No.
anything. That's amazing. I love that.
It
Um,
really is, because it's just for me to get into the water every day and share my passion of scuba diving with other people, and that gratitude you get afterwards as well, which is it's humbling as well to to get people that who've never dove before, and you take them on the water and to see their reaction afterwards. It's like you
yeah.
feel like, so it
Yeah.
is like a feel good as well as it's good overall.
So I completely understand what you're saying. I only got into the water in 2016. That's when I
Okay.
went. That's when I went on my first snorkeling trip. And when I came back, I did my Discover, I did my open water, I did all of my scuba certifications. So I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
So I wanted to just pop in here and let's see if there's any messages. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello, Kevin. Hello, Adila. Hello, Sheikh G. Okay, so here's the question that everyone always wants to know. One, what was the process of getting to becoming a scuba instructor? One, and two, is it something like, would you be able to live comfortably as a scuba instructor? I think that's a big question, because I often say we don't often think about the ocean as a place where we could make a living. And here you are making a living and you absolutely loving it. So tell us about the process of becoming a scuba instructor, one, and then two, are you able to, make a living on that? Is it something that people can consider and should consider?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think like it's such a spectrum as well, like how you want to be, which part of the world you want to be in as well. It's to become an instructor, obviously you have to get all your certifications certifications from the beginning and everything. So it is definitely hard work, but it will pay off. But you learn such a fun environment to learn everything because you meet so many people, like-minded people. You work with people, you learn from everybody, from your instructors, your colleagues, and your trainees around you. You learn from people. Just because I'm an instructor now doesn't mean I don't need to learn anything. I am like learning different things and different techniques, and just to improve myself, become a better instructor, and be able to provide to a wider range of people than just people that I am doing it with now. But yeah, it's just like it is a good industry if you want to be in it for, whether if it's just for like part-time or full-time, you can be able to have a good time being an instructor. So I think just be determined to learn thing, and at the same time have a good time. You know, just being around with good people, nice people all around. And yeah, it is a good profession to get into because you are actually getting paid to do your hobby. So,
And I think that's what everyone is always hoping for, right? When you get paid to do what you love, that changes your world completely.
Yeah, definitely. It takes away that the stress of the job. Like, you don't hate your job. You go to work every. All I have to do is just change into a bikini and jump into the water. So that is my job. It's not like you go to be like, oh, I have to work again, and it's like you don't. It's very rare that you have those moments. Let's put it that way, because I think in any industry, it comes to a time where you feel stressed. It's because it can get busy, and it is something you have to have all your senses always like present when you are in the water, people, and have to think about the safety of others as well as yourself.
So I can imagine it gets like super stressful, because I have friends who are scuba instructors, and we have a place here in South Africa called Sodwana Bay. So they'll be like running up and down with tanks, especially like when we're in the summer and it's warm, running up and down with tanks. They are teaching, they are dive mastering, so I know that it's also like a lot of work, especially, I mean, you live in paradise. So you live in the Maldives, where everybody comes to de-stress and be in your water. So I completely know, I can completely understand when you say that it can get stressful. So here's a question. Is there a minimum number of dives that you need to have under your belt before you can be a scuba instructor, or like hours that you need to have done?
Yeah, basically it's like, so there are a certain amount of numbers that you need to complete before you go to pro level. To join the Dive Master course, for example, you have 60 dives, log dives. So you can start your Dive Master program. So Dive Master program is like around 4 weeks minimum, like training, lots of theory, learning how, like many things, EFR, doing all this, like learning how to teach, to be around, to teach to groups of people, different types of people, which is one of the best experience that I had, like being in this, getting to become an instructor. Because like you have like all this big group of people who are there to learn to become dive instructors and dive masters. You're in a really nice little group of people where you learn every day. You have fun while doing so as well.
Tell me, what is your favorite reef to dive at, that side, and what do you see the most on your dives? So everyone always talks about mantas and Maldives, and I'm still yet to see a manta. Like that is my dream at the moment. So you have to tell me, one, what's like your most fantastic reef, maybe an awesome dive experience as well. Tell us.
Well, I am based in pretty down south of Maldives, which is like Afdal Atoll, so which is the big and the deepest atoll in the Maldives.
Okay.
So, as you know, like with the environmental issues that we face today, like El Nino and things like many coral reefs has been like destroyed and still recovering, which would take a long time. But we are quite lucky being the deepest atoll. That means like we still have really unaffected reefs that we can at the deeper depth. So we have quite really healthy coral life around this area, which is really, really cool. And but we don't have like as much as mantas and whale sharks and things as we would like out this side where we are at the moment. But dolphins, turtles, different types of sharks, like dolphins is one of my favorites because
Yes.
almost every day while we are on our way to the dive site, we will have a dolphin sighting, and
Oh
we
my
would
God.
jump into the blue and just swim along with them, and to have that experience is really amazing to see them in their natural habitat rather than going to a place to see them where they've been,
Yeah.
but to see them in their natural habitat and to be in the water with them at that time, which is quite nice as well. So every time I see dolphins, I get so excited, always feel like a child.
Then, so in Sedona, the one time we were launching and we see like this massive pod of dolphins. If you listen to my GoPro footage, you just hear me squealing, like I'm just
Yeah,
like
exactly.
losing my mind.
It's everybody's reaction, to be fair.
It's
It is like you have to understand, like we go out for diving like early in the morning, like 8 a.m. I mean, people here on a holiday, but still they come for diving still pretty early in the morning.
yeah.
So kind of like starts our day like with everybody being excited, getting ready and all these things, and then you see the dolphins and everybody's like getting into the boat and hoping we be able to see them while we are diving.
Yeah.
So you
and
have
and
like,
and they're always so playful, right? So
oh
if
yeah,
you they're always so playful. And so the one time I actually once jumped in the water and then they left, but then the two came back. So it's
yeah,
actually crazy how dolphins are so intelligent. Even if when they can't play, the rest of the pod will go, and then
yeah,
some will come back and play with you, which is
yeah,
it's
exactly. It is. It really is. It's always like they always tends to go away, like, jump in sometimes. But when you are in the water, after a while, it slowly comes around and swim around you and all these things, which is just amazing. And my favorite around here should be like the leopard shark, or like the zebra shark. Like in different parts, people call it different. So we have lots of leopard sharks as well, which is really really cool.
what? I've only seen one leopard shark in my life. They are beautiful,
Oh, God,
beautiful.
yes. As with all those spots on them, and they are so relaxed. They're just like chilling out on the sand, doesn't really care about people. As long as you give it distance, it will just hang around with you. And every now and then we will meet like a super friendly one that loves to do circles around us. If you actually check my Instagram, there's like some videos of this leopard shark just coming around, swimming around us. It did like around 5 times, just coming to each of our divers, swimming around and just checking us out, which was
That's
really, really cool. One of the best
that's
encounters.
like that's so amazing. So you mentioned that Maldives has some trouble with the coral, and it's coming back. So when I was there as well, I noticed that I can't remember what atoll I was at, but the coral was definitely like battling. So what
Mm-hmm.
are there any conservation efforts that that you know of that are happening that side to help restore the coral and bring it back quickly?
So yeah, something that we are doing, I think many of the places are doing, is like coral reef. So basically, what we do is like we find like we build frames that we can put
Mm-hmm.
into water and find broken but live corals, and we try to attach it to them. So in over time, it grows, that becomes like a coral garden. Long
Yes.
time. But we are like, and also we are going to start an initiative once we are open that will be open for the guests to join. So basically, it's like adopting a coral reef, or so the guests can contribute to the preservation of coral reefs.
Wow.
So that's something we are looking forward to do as well. And but I guess in the most important is education and just awareness for many people, because many people come to the Maldives from from land places and stuff like that. So they don't have this awareness about how the coral reef things like how important it is for us, all these things like that. So just awareness at this point is, I think, very crucial for everybody to know what these beautiful coral lives, they are live animals, that how we can preserve it for the next generation.
Yeah.
Or we want to make more people to be able to enjoy the underwater life for generations and generations, not just for us.
Absolutely, and that's so important, because I often say that all of us who live in the ocean are the biggest ocean advocates. We're here. We want to make sure that the generations that come after us are also able to enjoy the ocean like we've been able to. And when I was speaking to Mermaid Katie, she's based in the Bahamas. And she was telling about how they also have coral restoration projects, because of course the ocean's being affected by the climate, by so many things. And when you're telling me about creating these coral gardens, I know exactly what you're talking about, because that's like part of the project that she's doing, which is so cool. So I have to ask you this question. Are there a lot of female scuba instructors in the Maldives, particularly that are brown?
I think, you know what, actually, like, nowadays there is a more awareness and more interest being shown by younger girls from the Maldives to be part of this world, which is amazing. But I personally don't know a lot of people other than the girls that I interact with in the club and like that. But there's plenty of dive masters at the moment as well, and there are other dive instructors in other places that where local islands that local girls are now being instructed. But well, you know what? I hope that we have more, and I think we are getting more now, because well, it's 2020 and people are more educated, and like it's high time that we abandon the idea that like this is a man's sport, or this is only for somebody else, not you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great that we are seeing more people, more girls getting into this, despite that sometimes it might have, some people might think like, oh yeah, this is not like a real job or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
So when I was in the Maldives, like all of the guys that I saw that were working in the water, be it scuba diving, water sports, snorkeling, everybody was male. And I say that, because how does it from a cultural perspective and a religious perspective, especially in the Maldives, do you find that it makes it difficult to become a woman in the industry just because of the cultural and religious point? Is there a trick there? Does it make it difficult, or is it more accepted?
well, I think now it is more acceptable for girls to work in this industry, not just to work in diving, or to be in general in hospitality industry. There's like, of course, we are very family oriented culture, and mostly like it used to be girls are like supposed to be, you go to school or you work or you start family soon, like you are expected to take on the family life rather than betting on your own career or things like that. But now more and more people are in the traditional sense of like life and actually going after their dream doing work, amazing work, you know, like that actually is fulfilling for themselves, not just to be accepted as part of culture and tradition.
Yeah.
And for me, myself, I haven't had necessarily any negative thing about like being one of the few instructors, female instructors here in Maldives and so on. Like, all of my colleagues, my work, like where I work, which is Eurodive, which is amazing, and I have like massive help and support from them and family and all of them as well. But of course, there's always one person, you know, comes and be like, all right, when I settle down, when are you gonna do this? When are you gonna do that? And I'm like, I am doing what I want in my life, and I just try to ignore the social pressure, you know, that comes with it from the community.
Yeah.
But I think more and more people are more liberal, and it's more acceptable now to do what you want rather than like lose yourself in the family dynamic.
Yeah. I love that you say so. I love your share about the social expectation. You know, when are you getting married? When are you having kids? When are you settling down? And I love that because I find that that's a big issue with me as well. So with my whole family, that's always the question. When are you settling down? I'm like, I have settled down. You know, I'm doing what I love. I'm living in my love. And it feels like we're constantly having to go back to our families to say, hold on, this is what my settling down looks like.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
instead of how it used to look, this is my settling down now. And I love that we're changing the stereotype of how women should exist, you know,
Yeah,
how women should exist.
yeah, just because that's like, I have no problem with people who decide to start family and all these things. More power to you, but this is my reality. This is my life living.
Yeah.
So don't knock somebody else down because somebody else is doing something you are not doing or you are not familiar with, right? So
100%. No, I'm 100% with you. So I want to go into the comments. Guys, if anyone has a question, please do pop us a question. Let us know if there's anything that you want to know. One, if it's either about becoming a scuba instructor or, you know, about anything with our mermaid that we have on the line today. I don't know if there's anybody that we haven't said hello to. Hello, Renita. Hello, Heiko. Hello, Kim.
hey, Clara.
Ooh, this is a
That's
trick.
Clara.
Hello,
Yeah, some
Gauteng Sea
friends
Dive.
joined.
Hey.
Some girls and guys from
Marsha, when are you wanting to try out free diving? When are you trying out free diving?
yeah.
But hold on, I always see you in the water free diving.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I am not a free diver in the sense of free diving,
Okay.
but I'm learning, you know, just to doing, like, I love snorkeling.
Okay.
Dive, especially we just go out for a swim and just stay active as well. So, and also it kind of takes away like your exercise part of the day, and you to be like, okay, I've been in the water, I've been snorkeling, I've been swimming, so I'm just like kind of exercise as well. So it kind of mixes together because we are not diving now, the work. So just trying to stay on track, not to let, you know, be. Otherwise, it's so easy just let yourself go and do anything, especially when our work revolves and our life revolves around work, and we live where we work. So when you don't have work, you feel it that you have not much to do other than, you know, to do some simple stuff and going playing and things like that. But yeah, but definitely would love to get into serious free diving once I get some time, once this whole madness is over, hopefully.
So on our side, our lockdown has also been closed. So people are still not allowed to scuba. People are not allowed to swim in the ocean still. So we're also all feeling the effects of this pandemic. So I can imagine it's like so hectic. But as a free diver, you have to properly get into free diving. Like I'm with Free Dive MV, and I always say I haven't formally started competing as a free diver, but I would love to, like, you know, for me, it's to
Yeah.
increase the space where we see more women, but also we see more brown women doing phenomenal
Yeah,
things in the water.
exactly. I mean, it is a rare sight in some places, but it is definitely, we need more people like to represent us so that
Yeah.
we feel we are welcome and that we can be a part of that.
Yeah.
So it is definitely 100% sure. Like, I feel inspired as well when I see other girls who look like me,
Yeah.
amazing things,
Yeah.
and it gives me inspiration and motivation to do, you know, better and to go
Yeah.
out and achieve what I want, not
Yeah.
to just limit my sphere to just the things that I can only get, but I actually go out and look for the things that I want and
Yeah.
actually pursue it.
Yeah. And I'm a big believer in representation. So as you're saying, like, seeing people that look like you is encouraging. And that's why when I got onto your page, I was so happy just seeing all of those images of you in the water. You know, I mean, you are gorgeous, but also just being able to, you know, being able to see someone who looks like me becoming a scuba instructor, living in this life, flourishing, looking beautiful. That for me is important. And I think representation, especially in the diving industry, is so important. And I'm so encouraged. I'm encouraged by you. I'm encouraged by everything that you do. You know, I'm still yet to have a girl-led dive, a girl-led scuba dive. So in all of my trips, I've always had a guy of some sort
Yeah,
doing it. But I would love, love, love to have, you know, more representation, and also just both in gender and race. That's so important.
that can hold for a second because my phone, I need to get my charger. Can you hold on
Oh,
a second,
okay.
please? Yeah, thank you.
Not a worry. Kev, can you close the door for me? The doors. Hello? Woo. Mm. Hi everyone. Marsha is trying to find a charger, I think. Uh, so she's I think maybe gone offline. Let's just wait for her to come back. I don't think there's any questions at the moment. Kevin will ask Marsha when she comes back. Hello Afro divers. Hello Zana Shiraz. Hello, free diving Zare. How long have I been diving? I've been diving since 2016. So just to share my story, I was in Bali and I went for my first snorkel trip. Hello, Scuba Jen. I went for my first snorkel trip, and that was the first time that I'd ever been in the sea, like that deep, and I just fell in love. So when I came back from Bali, I got all of my scuba certifications, and yeah, I just fell deeply in love with the sea. And then last year, I started free diving, and I loved it so much, I knew I wanted to teach. So I went all the way in, I trained hard, and I qualified as a free diving instructor early this year. And then somewhere along the way, the world closed up because of the pandemic, which is sucky, but it's okay. So that's my story. I don't know if there's anything else. What's your max depth and in which discipline? My max depth is 34 meters in bifins. So constant weight bifins. Nothing super exciting. I'm still speaking of representation. Oh, okay. So that's my max depth. I've got big hopes to go deeper. I love the ocean. I love the free fall. And the minute I found my confidence and comfort in the free fall, I've just gone deeper and deeper, and I'm so excited to go even deeper. So obviously there's big dreams and there's big hopes, and of course we want to compete. So as the world is opening up, I'm excited to see what will come, you know? That's kind of exciting. Handolf, speaking of representation, I think I missed the rest of your message. You're the first woman from your country. Yes, I am the first black freediving instructor in the country and in sub-Saharan Africa, which is incredible. And that just tells you that the sport is growing, which is incredible. Like, so as a black person, I think it's a really, really big thing. And I'm excited to open up new opportunities for black and brown girls to enter the freediving space and actually become instructors and just grow the sport. I think it's the most beautiful thing, and I want the whole world to do it. You're the first woman from your country. You're both inspirational. What tips would you give to get girls in your community who want to achieve what you're doing? Well, tips, you need to get in the water, get in the water. I think that's my big thing. I want to get more girls and boys in the water, number one, but I almost feel like there's sometimes a fear of the water. So people get afraid of the water. So that's my experience. So I find that there's a lot of fear when it comes to the ocean, when we're looking at black and brown spaces. And I feel like, one, we need to address the fear, and then two, get people comfortable in the water just to see the beauty that is there. So even if it's, you know, whether you're snorkeling, whether you're in there scuba diving, or whether you're free diving, I think it's so important that we start properly experiencing the water in the beauty that it is. I see Marsha is back. Let me get her back on. Freedive Envy, I'm the first Maldivian freedive instructor. I celebrate you. Hello, Marsha. Welcome back.
I just had to run to my room at the charger. So I'm like,
no, don't worry. We've just been like having massive chats as well while you've been gone. I just want to quickly just finish the response to Freedive MV. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to come freediving with you in the Maldives. I can imagine it would be phenomenal, and I celebrate you. Let me see. Afro divers go deep.
As well, just to dive with you inside South Africa. It would be a dream come true to dive there in South Africa. It's such a different place compared to here, even though it is tropical. But it's such a different thing. So I'm always want to dive in different places and see different things that I have seen.
You would absolutely love it here. You would so love it. Like we have the Atlantic and the Indian Ocean. I think that so Cape Town has super cold water, but they've got these magical kelp forests. So you must actually look them up. They've got these it's like you're swimming in this magical place with these massive stalks of kelp forests. Yeah. It's beautiful. And then KZN has the warmer waters and all of like the exciting marine life. Yeah. So it's just beautiful. Afro Divers Go Deep says, I can't wait to start freediving. Afro Divers, we're going to get you in the water and we're going to get you freediving before you know it. Marsha, if someone is new to the ocean, what tip would you give them to get them into the water and to get comfortable with their scuba diving? So I know that like one of the things that I battled with in the beginning was buoyancy. So if someone is new to scuba diving, what tips would you give them on how to get comfortable in the water?
Listen to the instructor.
Yeah.
Listen to the instructor, and actually, when some instructor tells you something, that is for the good of you, not
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
So we are here to teach you. Obviously, everybody starts from somewhere.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be perfect from your first dive. Some
Yeah.
people are. Some people tends to be like really good. But then again, most of the people are. It's natural, it's normal. Don't beat yourself up if you have one bad dive or one bad session. Because let's say you couldn't clear the mask or things like that. And trust your instructor.
Yeah.
Because we are there to help you.
Yeah.
I know sometimes it can be hard to, in the end of the day, we are strangers, try to teach somebody something.
Yeah.
But trust us when we say we are there for you, to help you become better divers and
Yeah.
teach you to become better divers.
Yeah.
And do your own research as well, rather than just relying on your instructor to teach you everything. The more you know, the more you learn.
Yeah.
Confident in the water.
Yeah.
You don't have to be an amazing Olympic level swimmer to start diving.
Yeah.
Just it's baby steps.
Yeah.
So you first thing, put your face under the water,
Yeah.
and then we will do the next.
Yeah.
So that always take it slow, and just the most important is make sure you are enjoying it and you are having fun while learning.
Yeah.
It shouldn't feel like you are in some room, you are back in school.
Yeah.
This is a much more fun way to do it.
Yeah.
So make sure you are enjoying it. You are just taking the experience in. Just take it slowly, and once you get hang of everything, it will be hard to let go of it.
Yeah. So I'm with you that 1, listen to your scuba instructor, 2, enjoy it, 3, do your own research as well. And
Yes.
and I love that you mentioned that people don't need to be like an Olympic swimmer in order to be a good scuba diver, because a lot of people are sometimes put off the water because they think you have to be this perfect Olympic level something in order to be fantastic in the water, and that's not true. You just need to be able to at least swim.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I will tell you something funny. And so in 2012, when I started, I can swim, but I was the worst swimmer.
Okay.
I was still scared of deep waters, of
Yeah.
the depth. But so it's funny now that 8-9 years later, I have become myself an instructor for somebody who was quite scared of going snorkeling in the deep waters, right? So as you can see, if I am doing this, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
And the love for the sport.
I love that, because it tells us that anybody can be a scuba. Like if you want something, you can have it. You don't have to start as being the best at something in order to get to it. Here exactly. You were saying that I used to be, I wasn't a great swimmer. 8-9 years later, I'm an instructor. That's what life's about.
It is. It's definitely, it's just like, don't expect to come to it expecting to be perfect on your first try, because that's, you are setting yourself up for disappointment and failure. There have been many times that I felt like it's been a long journey to me to become an instructor as well. So I could have easily become an instructor 4 or 5 years ago. But that little thing in your head always tells you like, oh, you are not good enough to become an instructor yet, and you start getting it, but you need people around you, that the support that you get to let go of that fear of not being the best, and not being able to be yourself. So I have made like ridiculous excuses why I shouldn't become an instructor in my head. But in the end of the day, the pros weighs more than the cons of not being an instructor. So I thought, you know what? I need to believe it in myself that I can do it. And I put a lot of pressure on myself as well to be the best. But I let go of this idea of being the best, but being the best version of myself and the best that I can within my ability. And make sure that I am learning and keep on learning.
Yeah. And that's the most important thing, the best version of yourself, and then you just keep on learning. So,
exactly.
So as we're, Cassie says you're the best instructor ever.
Okay. I know she's also part of my Dive Master program.
I see.
Our Dive Master together.
I see that. So, so hello to everybody who's just joining us. We're also coming to a little bit of a close on our live, but I wanted to ask you, if I want to be a scuba instructor, or if someone wants to be a scuba instructor out there, what advice would you give them what advice would you give? Because, you know, you mentioned that people needed to have, I think, a certain number of logged dives before they can go there. So what advice would you give? So if I'm a beginner scuba diver and I eventually want to be an instructor like you are, what advice would you give?
Well, I think first it's like determination to learn and to be able to take sometimes criticism as well. So you also to make sure like you are going in there with a fresh mind and to take things in, you are absorbing this information and all these things. Become a good diver yourself first. So that you don't have to worry about how good you are as a diver while you are doing your training. So you already have that thing down, like you are a good diver, buoyancy and all this. It is like continuously learning all these things, practicing your skills and things like that. Sometimes it's repetitive, but the more you do, the better. And learn the theory. Because sometimes it can be one of the hardest for many people, the theory part, like physics of it and all these things. It can be a bit overwhelming, and I'm being really, really honest. When I did my instructor course in Dive Master, it was overwhelming a bit. It's physically demanding as well. And mentally you have to prepare for everything that could happen around you as well. And so learn the physics, the theory part of diving, which would pay off extremely well. And just enjoy it. Also, don't take yourself too seriously. And just turn off that inner critic in your head. Just try not to give it a thought, because if you start listening to it, you start doubting yourself. Listen to other people around you rather than that small voice in your head. Because the people around you are giving you advice, valid advice that you can use to improve your situation as an instructor or even as a diver.
So I love that about turning off the inner critic, because we are so hard on ourselves. So when you say turning off the inner critic, I'm 100% behind that. But also number two, don't take yourself so seriously.
Yes, exactly. I mean, like, it's silly things are bound to happen, right? Silly things would happen. Like, for me, like, being in this journey, I have so many silly stories, like endless stories about people, about my own experiences, the friends that I've made through this journey. Like, I've met from all over the world, for the rest of my life. So, of it is more enjoyable that somebody would actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said, just relax, have faith in yourself,
Yeah.
because we are actually doing much, much better than we actually really think.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah. So, even though it is obviously reasonable, like that sometimes you will have this nagging thoughts in your head, which is valid and it is real, but don't read into it too much. But if it's bothering you, try to change it.
Yes. If it's bothering you, you should try and change it.
Yeah.
So I want to quickly see. So Lady Leal says, well done on believing in yourself. And I think that's so important. We all second that. And then CD Schmidt says, go slowly and enjoy diving is the best advice. I completely agree with that. Always go slowly, but most importantly, always enjoy your dives.
Walter, he is one of my trainers when I was doing my Dive Master.
Yeah, so hold on, Lady Deal says, really sad I missed out on the bulk of the convo, but glad I got to hear this last bit. Thank you for sharing, Marsha. Lady Deal, we're gonna post the IGTV for this live on my profile, so you can listen to the whole thing a little bit later when you have a chance, so don't worry about that. Karim, hello. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so Marsha, hold on. You have to tell us why your handle is called Dive Marsha Dive, because like I think that's the cutest handle. As we close, tell us why you call yourself Dive Marsha Dive.
Well, it was like this is actually like kind of like my second account, which I wanted to make it like more public and to show some people about about my work, mostly about my passion of the water and everything like that, so where I can share with many people. But I was looking for like handle names, and I wanted it to relate to scuba, because I am everything scuba.
Yeah.
It's like sort of my identity, and then it came to my head like, run, Forest, run.
I love that.
So I was like, maybe I can just put like Dive Marsha Dive. And from then on, I was like, you know what, it's brilliant. I'm just going to go with it.
That is brilliant. I love that. That's actually that's what I'm going to call this IGTV. Run, Forest, run. Actually, Dive Marsha Dive. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for making time for us. Thank you for this conversation. Thank you for sharing and just being so open with us. I just thank you so, so much.
Thank you so much for giving the chance for me to come around here and just to talk about all the things scuba and what we are doing at the moment. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And I feel like the world is becoming smaller. And I mean, for me to be able to see people that look like me across the world doing phenomenal things, I'm inspired, and I'm so grateful that you could share a little bit more of your light into the world. And just thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, I hope to keep on inspiring people.
Keep doing what you're doing, because that is what inspires all of us.
Thank you so much. And
cheers.
You keep you, and I'll be looking for all the free diving videos from yours, and I'll slowly be getting myself into it.
Awesomeness, awesomeness. Thank you, everybody. Cheers, cheers, and thank you for all the love. I'm gonna close the live.
All right. Mwah.